Hello, Gemini. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Gemini is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading. Try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Gemini, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And look at that, the Eon card. Rebirth, reawakening, baptism by fire. This is the judgment card of traditional tarot decks. This is really significant. This is telling me that you are right at the threshold of a very important change in your life. A very big moment, a big event is coming for you. I think you see the doorway in front of you. This is the doorway that you have to intentionally walk through. Okay? And it might be a little scary. It's a fiery doorway after all, right? But I think that this is you understanding what it's going to take. Understanding what's on the other side of this doorway. See, this is the doorway where you can see what's on the other side, and you want it, and this is your destiny. It's challenging to get through the door, right? Contrast this with what I say about the moon card. That's a doorway too. But that's a doorway that it's very easy to get through, but we have no idea what's waiting for us. This is the opposite. We know what's waiting for us, and it is your future, right? This is really, really big, right? And so I feel like you're on the cusp of this kind of change. It might be something at work. It might be something you feel is coming spiritually or emotionally in terms of your family, friends, your relationships, your pets, your plants, your people. This might be just kind of that big leveling up of life, right? This might just be that moment is here and it's happening now, and oh, I'm a little nervous, you know? We're about to step out into that future. This is when the astronaut first walks out of the spacecraft into the zero-G, or when the musician or the magician or the actor, whatever, first steps out on stage. That first time, it's like, this is it. This is the big moment. It's a little bit, we get a little nervous during that time, but this is extraordinary. Let's see what else is coming with it. Let's put some more cards out on the table, all right? Oh, you got the Eon and the Star. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, this is a really big win. The Star card is your destiny. This is something that, it might be kind of scary. It might feel kind of nervous, but you have this certainty. The Spirit has illuminated what's going on within you. Okay, that's the first stage of the Star card, is when we have the inner illumination. You're discovering who you are. That question, who am I? You're going to be able to answer that, okay, tentatively. And I always say that. It's for now, because we're always evolving, we're always growing. Our destiny might be one single destiny, but it feels like it is. It's ever evolving. It's ever changing. It's going to take us some unknown direction. That's really going to be a wild ride. We know on the roller coaster that eventually we're going to get to where we're going. We're going to get back to where we started, and I think that's another mystery. But we don't know exactly what it's going to be like. We know there's going to be some twists and turns, maybe some loop-the-loops, but we all get that kind of nervous, excited feeling when we're about to get on a roller coaster. Yeah. But back to the Star card, you've got that inner illumination. So you're discovering who you are. And not only that, you're discovering the path ahead of you. And I think you've been following your destiny. You've been really trying to work with energies, work with yourself, do the internal spiritual work, put in the effort and the work externally, and I think it's really brought you to this threshold. Okay? It could be that beyond this threshold is really that full enlightenment of who you are, right? The full revelation of your destiny is here. Okay. It could be that we've been getting kind of a partial illumination, a partial revelation. It's been an ongoing kind of gradual thing. We're right there at that doorway, and all you have to do is of your own free will, step through it, take that opportunity, take that next step, right? And with the Eon card, it really is a closing of the door on the past. We can't go back to who we were or where we were or what we were doing, right? This is a forward-moving energy. This is big. This is big. Let's see where this might be manifesting or where this might be taking you in your life. Underneath everything, we've got the Four of Wands. A circle, a cycle, a spiral force, right? Four of Wands, you're somebody that is rather consistently through the years, you've been working out your karma. You know, you've been going through your experiences, I think, past and present experiences and issues and knots maybe in our destiny or in our karma, and I think you've been working through those. Okay, this is the card of those kinds of cycles, and I think you're really aware of how your life goes in particular cycles, planetary cycles, you know, with astrology and the lunar cycles, the solar cycles, but then your other planets too, right? Your own Saturn cycles, let's say, right? Or your Jupiter cycles, or those Mercury cycles, you know. So I feel like you're really in tune with that kind of energy, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if you knew much more about astrology than I do, because I feel like you're really tuned into those cycles, and you really feel those. Even the cycles of the seasons. It's like every time there's the change of seasons, you really feel that, you really experience that, and I think you maybe have either an altar or a shrine, or even just the decor of your house changes. We take down the old decorations, we put up the new ones for the new season, you know. I feel like you're really in tune. I really do. And we know that it's not really a circle, it's a spiral, right? That we're continuing to progress forward. I think you're somebody that likes to check things off their list. I think you have a list somewhere. I think it's in a journal or a diary, maybe a bullet journal. You like to check things off your list. It just feels good with a pen to put that on the paper and make that little tick. Check mark, as we'd call it. And so that's really a way of just kind of saying, you know, hey, I did something today. I'm moving forward. I'm accomplishing things, you know. And I think it's very important that at the end of the day, we sort of recapitulate and we reassess our day, you know. Some of us like to journal in the morning. We wake up, we do maybe an intent or a gratitude kind of thing for the day. We set the intention of the day. We kind of, you know, we invoke a certain kind of energy, make a list of goals. And then at the end of the day, just before bed or something, we recap. What did I do today? What did I get done? What did I leave for tomorrow? Right? What kind of experiences did I have internally? Do I feel like I've made some sort of progress with what my more private internal goals are? Okay. And so I think you go through these periods of intense introspection or even introversion and these intense periods of kind of extroversion. Yeah, where we're focused on getting things done outside of my body, and now I'm focused on getting things done in here in my heart and my mind spiritually. Yeah, I'm going to get you to that type of person. And it's led you to a lot of progress. That's why we've got the star card. This is the process that brings about this spiritual revelation, the enlightenment of the star. Okay, so going through this doorway is allowing you to get a closer glimpse of what your star really is. Because the star sometimes seems like it's a very distant point of light. I know my goal is out there. I can kind of sort of see it. If I kind of squint my eyes just right, I can see that star way out there. And I know it's mine, but it's still really far away. I think you are literally stepping out into a new era of your life where this picture is going to get more clear. And you might, we'll see, but you might even be realizing that this destiny is a lot closer at hand than we think. Yeah. Let's see what is behind us. the Princess of Pentacles. The Princess of Pentacles could be a previous focus on very earthly, very, I don't want to say mundane because that always has kind of a negative connotation, and I don't mean it that way, but it feels like a very earthly kind of focus, right? It's very in tune with nature. It's very much focused maybe on growing, on agriculture things, on physical health and well-being. I think that you spend a lot of time with, diet and exercise and cultivating yourself, cultivating good habits, cultivating your skills. I think that this is really a lot of that kind of almost body work, right? That prepares us for going through this door. It's kind of like, really, what it seems like is this is that big test. This is that really, really big, this is the Spartan race, right? If you're familiar with those things. This is the merit. This is going through that really challenging ordeal of yours that is going to lead to your future and take you to your star, right? But this is all the training you got to do beforehand. If you're going to go run a marathon, well, you might want to really start trying to eat right and exercise, build up your cardiovascular system, all that kind of stuff. We got to get fit, right? Because this is going to be challenging. So this is all the preparatory work, right? This is all, we're laying the foundation through ritual, through prayer, through offerings and devotion, and even the routine of life, right? We're really kind of training our lower nature, training our bodies, our hearts and our minds for what this really big event is for you. So I think when you look at the cycles that you've been through, these two cards connected, you'll see that a lot of what you've been focused on in the past may not have been kind of an end in itself or a goal in itself. And so there might even be like, God, why did I spend so much time doing that? Why was I so into, I don't know, some sort of extra, I don't know, whatever it was, right? I'm thinking like that high intensity training kind of thing. You're so into that because it was preparing you for this very important moment in your life right now. And I don't just mean physically, and I don't just mean this in terms of exercise or physical strength, but in a very practical, earthy way, right? It could have been a lot of meditation, a lot of prayer, it could be a lot of yoga. It could be a lot of studying, a lot of reading. It could really be just kind of learning practical skills. It could be spending time in nature, right? Just kind of walking through the park and just taking it all in, any of these kinds of things. Preparing you for this really, really important doorway that you're walking through. Up above everything, the Princess of Wands. See, now we got the fire and the earth connection, okay? And the Princess of Wands is... well, this figure, I love this card in any tarot deck. The Princess of Wands or the Page of Wands is one of my favorites. This is somebody who's kind of dancing around a tiger, and it reminds me of an Jing hexagram that we very often get on this channel. Treading the tiger's tail. We're trying to tiptoe around this tiger and not wake it up. We're doing something kind of dangerous. We're doing something that is kind of, it's perilous in a way. And so this confirms really with the Eon card that we know we're going through this fiery doorway. We don't want to be reckless. We got to let the Princess of Pentacles know, okay, you've got this excitement and this enthusiasm. You've got to be careful, right? It's also kind of an idea that we're bringing the essence of that fire into us, right? That we're almost we're waking the tiger up intentionally. That we want to be devoured by that spiritual, creative. See, she's got the solar wand here too. It's kind of like we're going through this fiery doorway. We know that we're going to be consumed by the fire. It's kind of like Daenerys in the Game of Thrones, right, where she goes into the fire. She emerges as the mother of dragons, and that's kind of that idea that we're surrendering ourselves to that intense spiritual creative fire, and we're allowing it to transform us. And what's coming out the other end, well, I mean, let's see what it is. An Ace of Cups. Very nice. Look at that, Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups is the source of all light, life, love, right? It's that infinite well that feeds everything. This is that ocean of love that then splits and differentiates into different channels and different rivers of, let's say spiritual love, platonic love, romantic love even, right? Self-love. All of these different areas. Because the Ace of Cups is really us tapping into that source of love, love itself as the grand idea. It's not specific yet. It's not differentiated yet. So you're getting to the source. You're getting to this idea of God as love. But going through this transformative process, this fiery doorway, on the other side of that is pure bliss and pure love. Right? And I think that this is that experience, this is that source of love that we then can channel into every different aspect of our lives. This is a major, major thing. And it could be really manifesting for you as a new platonic love, new romantic love, a new awareness of self-love, right? Or that divine love. This could be really a kind of union with Source. God, Goddess, Deity, right? Whatever you want to call it. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. And it's just going to go right here. We're going to put Kevin, aka Mr. Bates, right there on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together and it will give us our confirmation. If you have a prediction for that card, put it in the comments. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, put it in the comments, and consider subscribing. It's free and it helps out the channel, and I appreciate that. I really, really do. General energy now, Path of the Serpent. Six of Pentacles. The Six of Pentacles is understanding kind of now who we are and what we bring to the table, right? I think this is kind of the round table. This is us really realizing that we are part of a larger world, that we're part of a, let's say, larger community, that you're just one house in the neighborhood, right? And that you bring something absolutely unique and essential. You bring your very own experience of love, your own type of love, your own flavor of it, right, to the table. It's a potluck. We're all bringing a dish. This is the Holy Grail. You're bringing your own, okay? I feel like this is also the Six of Pentacles, especially in this particular tarot deck, which I absolutely love. This is the Millennium Thoth Tarot. I still have my original Thoth deck here. This is the Millennium Thoth. It's updated, but the symbolism is still very, very close, almost the same. A couple of differences here and there, but I really do connect with this deck, and I love it. This one, the Six of Pentacles, the way it is colored and formed, the way it looks to me, is somebody that's kind of lying on their back in a crevice, in a ravine, in a pit, right? And we're looking up. And what do we see when we look up? We see the rose and the cross. We see the sun. We see the divine light shining down on us. We see God, Goddess, Deity, right? And to me, it really is significant because sometimes the only way, I know this is going to sound weird, but the only way we really can experience God is when we're on our back, right? And I don't mean that in that naughty way that you're thinking, but in the sense that when we are low, when we are down, when we have fallen, right? When we've landed on our back on the jujitsu mat, when we feel defeated, that's the moment where we kind of most need to recognize the divine energy, right? And be lifted out of our bodies, right? Which is very similar to what the Eon card is, especially in the old packs, like the Rider-Waite packs of tarot, where it is the judgment, is the angel calling all the people out of the coffins, right? They're on their backs, in their coffins. And the angel is there with the trumpet, waking everybody up, right? So everybody is kind of transcending their earthly conditions and living in this, this afterlife kind of thing. It is a form of rapture. And so the Six of Pentacles makes me feel like that. That it is when we are low, when we are desperate, when we have fallen, that's when we need to not only rely on Spirit, God, Goddess, Deity, on the universe, on our community, our people. Pets, plants, people, right? And so this is the reminder that you're not alone, you're not an island. Even if we feel like we are alone, it's in these moments of the most intense loneliness that we need to reach out to people, to, the divine energy, the divine in people. And I think this is very significant for you. It feels like this is the way that you need to look at that card. Let's see what's in the environment here. Nine of Swords. Yeah, I think that you've gone through something very difficult recently. And I think there are times in your life recently where you have felt alone. And maybe you have felt as if you have been kind of on your back alone, kind of, that you have landed on your back in life a little bit, right? That you have perhaps fallen or experienced some kind of a loss or a defeat or a challenge that sometimes feels overwhelming. Nine of Swords, it's really hard to find a positive in this card, right? Because it feels like it's raining. It feels like all the rain that's coming down on us is now like little daggers. It's like acid rain, right? So not only is it raining on us, but now the rain's starting to hurt, And what does rain do? But it has the potential to really put out the fires. So that could either be positive or negative. Is it putting out your creative fire, your vitality, right? Is it putting out your flame? Or can we use this maybe to put out the fires around us? Those little disasters, those calamities around us, the conflicts, right? Putting out, washing everything clean, right? Washing away all the disturbances. And so sometimes this card really is the realization of truth. That no matter what I'm entangled with, all the drama around me, the drama in my life or whatever, there's some part of me that is capable of rising above the storms, right? When you are the sun, everything down below is just the weather. And you're still shining very brightly. And that was something that I kind of wanted to experience with this star card, because I said the star seems like it's very far away, but maybe we're going to realize that it's not as far away as we think. So I kind of hoping that we'll get the sun card, because the sun is really just a star, but really close up. It's our own personal star, We do have suggestions of the solar energy here. The 6 is always associated with the sun. 6 is the number of the sun. And then even here in the Ace of Swords, we kind of see now that sunrise. That light is dawning, that consciousness. It's like the Ace of Swords, the mind. The very simple, essential consciousness has risen above the weather, is experiencing the influence of the starlight, right? If you look at this card closely, you can see that those rays at the top are coming from outer space, coming from the star energy, right? But we're still here where that sun is rising. I look at this as a sunrise. And I feel like this is us really moving forward, right? So when I say at the beginning that there's a door that you're closing, we can't go back to who we were, where we were, what we were doing. We're moving forward. That the Eon card is a doorway to the future that we have to intentionally walk through. And this could be part of it. This could be really the experience of you walking through that door, okay? And with the 9 of Swords, then it's realizing all of the things that we have to leave behind. The 9 of Swords, what is it that you're leaving behind when you walk through this doorway? It's a fiery doorway. It's burning away everything that's not essential to you. Same thing really as my idea of washing away everything, but this is a baptism by fire, right? Rather than what would be a baptism by water, maybe if we had the Hanged Man or something. So the 9 of Swords in this position is you realizing, going through this doorway, leveling up your life, right? Accepting this big win, this big opportunity, this big transition is requiring you to disentangle yourself from things. At least for the moment, we're rising above the drama. See, we have the 9 of Swords, but we rise up, we're that Ace of Swords. We're getting the influence from the starlight. We are the rising sun, okay? And, it might not be that suddenly these problems are gone, but we've realized their significance or insignificance. What's the final card here? The Death card. The Death card is not a card of loss. It's a card of change. It's a card of evolution. It should have been called change, right? But they call it death, and they put a little Grim Reaper on there to grab your attention, and I feel like it works because this is one of the most feared cards of the tarot, but you know better. You've been in here for a while. This is the card of change and transformation, of evolution. This is the card really of what is usually a slow and gradual change. Something in your life has been building up to this moment. And you know that you've been evolving and evolving, even if the world around us is sometimes we feel like we're just flat on our backs, right? That we've just been knocked down. And, you know, sometimes it feels like a 9 of Swords, but you know you've got this, I think, again, kind of a partial enlightenment, internal, with that star card, you know. You know yourself tentatively, right? We have that enlightenment. And so you're able to see what this was all for, or what the greater intention was, and where this was all kind of, it was all building up, it was all leading up to something. And what this path has led you toward is that Eon card, that doorway for which you now have to walk through. Okay, and yeah, sometimes the death card is about a lot of suffering, a lot of things that we maybe had to let go of to move on from, a lot of things that we had to leave in the past already, you know. But not in the sense of you intentionally said, I'm leaving that thing. Because sometimes this is loss. Okay? Because loss is a part of change. With the death card, it's not a voluntary loss. You didn't get rid of something. It's as if things have kind of naturally fallen away from your life. They've naturally run their course and they're gone. It's not something that you necessarily walk through this doorway and you shut the door, right? It's more of the experiences of life. The idea of living, of being alive, necessarily brings with it the change, the loss, the leaving things behind, the natural falling away of things that have run their course. Okay? But the Eon card is different. The Eon card is that doorway, that big choice that you have right now to walk through that doorway. As difficult as it might be, as much of a struggle it might be to you know, kind of squish our way through it, there is that future waiting for you. That divine light, that love is waiting for you on the other side of that. Translate that into your own specific circumstances, okay? And that's an important point. Let's look at the mystery card. I want to see what that is. I feel like I already know. It's going to be a 10 of Cups or a 10 of Pentacles, okay? Because we have the water energy beginning, and I like that we have the 2 aces, but we have the water energy kind of in the future here, right? And so I want to see an expansion of that. And we also have the 6 of Pentacles, and I want to see maybe an expansion of that, right? That we are becoming part of the community, that we are reaching out, and we are, you know, we are part of the whole, and we're bringing our own unique, our unique idea of love to our larger community. So maybe a 10 of Pentacles here. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Here we go. Yeah, look at that, 10 of Pentacles. Right on the money. This is the card of wealth. You've got your pets, your plants, your people are around there too, right? This is the version of your best life. This is really kind of feeling that we have been resurrected now into this paradise, into this glorious kingdom, but we can have that right now. It's a state of mind, right? It's a state of being. It's not necessarily something that we have to wait until after our earthly frame, you know, kind of wears out and expires. No, it's something that we can have right here, right now. And it really is this enlightenment. It's this, one, the intentional act of going through that doorway. The intention, setting the intention and being brave and doing it and letting go of things that no longer serve you, letting go of pain, letting go of the 9 of Swords, right? At least for a moment. To have that transcendent experience. Then when we come back to our normal life, we realize that this can be, and indeed it is, paradise on earth. Okay? But it requires a shift in consciousness. It requires the full illumination of this star energy. And it all hinges on this star card. Going through that doorway, having that transcendent experience of the star, which illuminates you and all of your blockages and all of your entanglements that we might need to unwind them, untangle the knots, right? That then will show you the path before you. It will show you, it'll like the sidewalk lights up, you know, and you can see your path. And this is your path. This is both the path and the destination, right? Is this wealth. Realizing the wealth that's already in your life, and realizing that we're going to keep walking the path, and we're going to keep making choices that bring us deeper into this future. It's a new era for you, Gemini. Really, truly is. And I feel like a lot of this is happening, you know, soon. I feel like a week, right? That doorway is already there for you. Okay. Now we're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, there should be a link up top. There's one down below. New readings for Gemini every Monday and Friday, 6 a.m. Chicago time. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free. Doesn't cost anything. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from, especially if you're a new, this is your first time here. I want to welcome you. Thank you so much for joining us. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we're all in this together.